Getting an invite from a friend is always really nice, whether it's out to dinner, a birthday party, or even just for coffee. I've got an invitation, and today we're looking at the power of a personal invite.
If we could ask God on a regular basis, is there somebody God is calling us, nudging us, prompting us to invite, and then to actually kind of go and invite that person?
This final session will set us up with some key action points. I've invited some friends to a do-it-yourself pizza kitchen where we're going to discuss things to go and do to help us talk about Jesus.
It's powerful when we listen, because I think that builds a relationship. It builds a sense of like, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know you a bit more, and then being able to speak into that.
Javan has an invite also to a golf driving range.
When we're talking Jesus, we've got to aim for something. You know, if you aim at nothing, we'll hit it, right?
Yeah, that's true. As you saw.
As we just, yeah.
We're going to be talking targets, perseverance, and follow-through. This is Talking Jesus, training Christians to share their faith.
At the beginning of John's Gospel, we see the forming of a close group of disciples around Jesus. Some of these people Jesus approached directly, but the key for some of them following Jesus was actually a clear invitation from someone else. Peter first was invited to come and see who Jesus was by his brother Andrew. So many people come to faith simply because someone else asked them to come and see Jesus at work in his church. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Jo.
You got your invitation?
Yeah, really excited. I'm so looking forward to hearing what Michael's got to say. Hi, Michael. Good to see you.
Got you some popcorn.
Nice.
Some ice
Great.
cream. Yeah.
I'm going chocolate.
Okay, strawberry.
Oh, lots of cream. Great, fantastic.
Well, Michael, thank you for the invitation, but what's this about?
Well, I've been researching invitation for the past 14 years, trying to understand why Christians don't invite their friends. Because what I've discovered is that a personal invitation makes an incredible difference.
Yeah.
So what stops them?
Fear. Plain and simple fear. As soon as they get the name of somebody, or even frankly, as soon as we even talk about invitation, fear starts to raise its head, really.
Right.
It's actually quite a lot of the biblical characters, isn't it? Similar.
Yeah, I mean, there's numbers of Bible characters that as soon as God calls them to go on mission, that their first feeling is not confidence or passion or, yes, I want to do this for you. It's, no, not me, send somebody else. One of the greatest Bible stories in this regard is, when God calls Moses at the burning bush, we don't hear Moses being confident. We don't actually hear Moses being passionate.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it,
No, it just doesn't, it's basically his motto was, here am I, send him. And not a lot has changed, really, and so, when God calls us to do something, our first feeling is not passion, it's more, no, please, not me.
So, it's a really common thing that people are afraid. How do we get over that fear?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I'm not sure it's about getting over it. I think it's really important that we feel the fear, but don't let the fear stop you doing that which God has called you to do.
So we're in groups doing this course. What would be your top tips to help us to invite?
I think on a regular basis, in the group, if it's possible for us to ask God, is there somebody that God is calling us to invite, hearing the call, talking to one another about what we've just heard, and then going to invite that person to whatever God nudges you, prompts you to invite them to, and then come back and report to the group, so that we're working together to actually kind of become invitational together as a group. I think it's very difficult to do this on our own.
Yeah, so what does success look like with that?
I don't kind of go with the idea of success or failure. I think it's about faithfulness. You know, I think we have to leave the yes and the no of the invitation to God. I think it's really important in our generation that we get away from this target-driven success thing. It's basically kind of a great problem because many people won't do invitation because they've not got over the last time somebody said no to them. So we need to get faithfulness back. Well done, good and faithful servant, not successful servant.
We're called as disciples to invite people into a relationship with Jesus Christ, but also to invite them to a local church service, to a special event, or into our homes for a meal. Look, it's nearly dinner time. I think it's time we made some pizzas.
What we're gonna do, we have a pizza dough in front of us.
Yep.
We're gonna round on the both sides and make a bit roundy like this. We're gonna massage a bit.
Okay.
So I leave you to do it.
You're gonna leave us?
I have to, I'm sorry.
Wonderful, thank you so much. That was really great. Grazie.
Thanks, Chef. Thank you, Chef. We've all got around about 5 people in our mind that we're either reaching out to or starting to reach out to. But I guess if we have each of us one in mind for this discussion, what do we do next?
What I found really powerful is asking them if I can pray for them, which is a really good ingredient, I find.
Well, and I think it's important to pray for people by name. God knows every individual. And I think that praying specifically, once we're aware of a need.
Yeah, honestly, I find that compared to anything that I do, just praying beforehand and just trusting God for that person and just sharing, hey, I had this on my heart for you. Don't know if it resonates or not, but I just wanted to tell you. And just seeing that response of like, how did you know that? Or how did you know to pray for that? Or how did you know to ask me that? You have no idea what I'm going through. And I think that's what it's about.
To obviously speak to people about Jesus, we've got to just be around people, right? And how do we play the part in our communities and in the lives of those we just spend time with?
We may choose invite to pray, but we could give them something. We could connect into their world. Like these elements, there's not a formula in dealing with people. It's not like go through A, B, C, D, but there are elements that are in all of it.
You say give them something. I mean, what are we thinking? what do we give these guys?
Well, I think there's lots of ways you can give gifts. I mean, certainly one of the great gifts is to share the word, you know, either in a Bible or New Testament as appropriate, because that's really our reference point, isn't it? The truth is in there. Because we often get lots of opportunities, and this giving, you know, give the Bible, but sharing a meal. I mean, giving them breakfast, giving them a pizza.
Giving them a pizza.
Maybe not Roy's pizza.
You have to step into your space with the people you're connected with, because probably no one else will have that relationship or that connection.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to say, like, when people ask questions, that, oh, I don't know that. I think sometimes we feel like we need to know all the answers and then I can share and then I can talk to them and then I can relate. But none of us has the ultimate knowledge of everything at all. Yeah. So I think it's okay to just be humble and be like, actually, I don't know, but do you want to find out together? Do you want to discover that with me?
That's okay, because God will use you in the way you are.
And it's really important, Roy, that, because I think a lot of people are fearful that they have to become somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, absolutely.
And it's really important that people feel that actually God can use who they are.
When we talk about Jesus and we're sharing Jesus, it's no one thing. It's all the elements that go up to that conversation or into that conversation. So what's happened in their life up until this point, all those elements connect to that moment as we share Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I've been invited down to a golf range here in London. I'm here to meet Andrew, and I think he's got some golf lessons lined up for us. Not sure what that's got to do with talking Jesus, but let's go find out.
Hey, my friend, how you doing?
Andrew,
That's the golf club.
thank you.
Good to see you. Should we hit a few balls?
Oh, what do I do with it? All over. Oh, straight down here. Where did yours go?
Afternoon, gents. After them shots, it looks like there's certainly some help needed to be in these 2 days.
There certainly is.
Yeah, let's try to get you guys to be a little bit better than that, shall we? Is that you're going to do your normal back shoulder, so get bigger than your shoulders? There we go. T. Okay, gents, right, so the next part now, once you've got the follow-through correct and you've got the setup, is you've actually got to start to aim for certain things, so targets, all right?
We were aiming.
As in the green. Just make sure that is pointing roughly where you want the ball to be going.
Yep.
Sit the club behind the ball, have a golf shot.
Easy
And let's
as that.
see if the ball goes in the hole. I'm going to leave you to that. I wish you all the best, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, this has all been great, eh? But what's the link between this and talking Jesus?
Have a target, you know, hit towards something. And I think that's a really good tip. When we're talking Jesus, we've got to aim for something. You know, if you aim at nothing, we'll hit it, right?
Yeah, that's true. As you saw.
As we just, yeah. But we want to be aiming, focused, intentional about talking Jesus. And that means knowing who we're praying for, knowing how we're sharing.
So how do you do that without, just without stressing yourself out, without doing it too much?
Yeah, that is a challenge, isn't it? But I think it's saying, on the one hand, be intentional, you know, choose the right club, think it through. But on the other hand, don't force the shot. You know, let that club do the work. And I think when it comes to talking Jesus, we need to be intentional. We need to know what we're doing, be focused.
Sure.
But we've also got to let God do the work. Ultimately, no one is helped by us forcing it, by putting pressure on. That's counterproductive. We need to trust that God's story is powerful, that the Holy Spirit's with us. And as we just do our everyday talking Jesus, God's Spirit will do the work. And we'll see lives change without forcing it.
Yeah, great. So then what about the follow-through part of the shot?
Yeah, that seemed pretty important to him, didn't it? You know, that we didn't stop partway through. And I think, you know, this talking Jesus is so important that we don't give up, that we don't quit in prayer. You know, we've got to follow through. And there's such power in persevering prayer, I think. So let's follow through in prayer, but also just follow through in loving, staying with, listening, talking to our friends. People go through different seasons in life. It may not always be easy to be a witness, but if we don't give up, if we follow through, there'll be moments where God gives us great opportunities and we'll see lives transform. So let's have targets, you know, let's let the club do the work and let's follow through and in our talking Jesus.
That's great. Well, whenever I see another golf range, I'm going to be thinking about all those things.
Amazing lessons, that's right, yeah.
Well, I've got a couple of balls left. We should
hit a few more.
Just smash some more.
Truth. This is what you call heavenly.
So, Roy, what do we do when we just don't know what to do?
Well, you've done this entire course, so hopefully you have some idea of what to do and how to do it, and that it's perfectly natural. But let's just recap on some of the things that we've gone through. Prayer is really, really important. Secondly, let's be in community with people is really, really important. Thirdly, let's recognize that we need to be invitational people. So we actually invite people to things that we value, that we think are important. Fourth, give. We've found the power of the Bible. 24% of people come to faith through reading the Bible. So let's give. Wow. Maybe Mark's Gospel, or show them something on YouVersion or a digital or something. But the Bible is really, really powerful. And the final thing is that our story is really valuable. And once we've connected with their story, let's not be ashamed of our story. So those are the 5 things that are really simple. We just need to do them.
Yeah, that's great. Lionel,
Yeah.
talk to us about prayer.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really important, and you're closer for people requesting prayer than you think you are, because really it's important. I remember an example when I used to go to a barber shop, and I used to go there for a long time, and then one day one of the barbers asked me to pray, and I haven't got time to say how it's transformed his life, just that thing. And then pray almost straight away if you can. So often we sort of say, yeah, I'll pray for you. Sometimes you forget, or the present prayer, powerfully speaking into somebody's life at that moment can really be important.
Yeah, that's great.
And when you're in the barber's chair, you're there forever anyway. So
Yeah, that's true. Well, not if you like this. I was going to say, not you, Roy. Sharon, what about when it comes to sharing with people?
Oh, do you know what? Roy said it. It's like your story is one of the most powerful things, because it's your story. Anyone can come and dispute whatever and argue about the Bible, whatever, but they can't argue that your story didn't happen. So even before sharing, I think just to listen to what that person is saying or what they've been through. It's powerful when we listen, because I think that builds relationship. It builds a sense of like, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know you a bit more. And then being able to speak into that.
So there's a balance to be struck, with being present and staying in close proximity to our friends, our neighbours, our family, our colleagues, and actually having the confidence to speak up and say something and to offer prayer, and ultimately to inviting them to something at our church.
In the most natural way in the world is the easiest way to do this.